everyone. Welcome back to Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Charles Skaggs, sitting here with one of my favorite people in the known universe, Zan Sprouse.
Well, thank you, Charles. Hello, how are you? You're one of my favorite people in the known universe. And I've missed you. I've been gone for a long time.
I know, yeah. I have to apologize to our listeners. Zan was on vacation, so I don't think there's any real apology needed for that, because she was actually went with her husband Chris on a trip to Africa.
Johannesburg, South Africa. Yes, I have no apologies for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It
was amazing.
Now, did you, bless the rays down in Africa? Or is that too obvious and no joke?
I took the time to do some things we never had. Yes.
Nice.
I did.
Nice. You know that song's back popular now because of Weezer.
I know, that's
the
so
Weezer,
bizarre.
The Weezer cover, and apparently Weezer's not happy about it because they're like, hey, we've got all these other great songs that never went mainstream, and now this is the song that goes mainstream and gets played on top 40.
That is so funny. Weezer's so great. They're one of those bands that I think that they kind of get a weird rap for being kind of a novelty band, but they're actually really, really good.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the only reason they seem like a novelty band is I think it's Spike Jonze's fault, because of their first big single was Buddy Holly.
Yeah. And that's when I started liking them.
Yeah.
Because I really like that song.
That's a great song. Any song where it's a bunch of white dudes and their first line is, "What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front?" That's just funny. That's just funny. It was like, what is wrong with you guys that you
and the video is great too, if you ever watch the video, because it's
that's
all
why
just shot in black and white, like in the body.
No, it's not.
I thought it was black and white. I thought they were doing.
No, it's in color at Arnold's, like it's an episode of Happy Days.
Oh, what am I thinking of then? I'm thinking of something else then.
No,
I thought it was a black and white, like little spoof on it.
They're still a band. They're still Weezer the band, but they're playing in Arnold's diner.
Okay. I'm thinking of something else then.
What was Arnold's? Was it a drive-in? Was it a diner?
It was a drive-in.
Was it a drive-in? Okay.
Yeah.
From Happy Days. So
and then they got renovated by Al DeVecchio into like more of like a type of restaurant.
Well, who was Al DeVecchio?
That was, he was the guy that went, yep.
Okay, well, it wasn't the same guy. It wasn't.
It wasn't Pat Morita. It was the guy. I forget the actor's
name.
Oh,
that's right. That other guy was Al. Okay.
Yeah, he was like Arnold's cook, Al. Who then, when Pat Morita left the show,
I forgot all about Pat Morita. I was mixing the two characters into one guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But so they got up there. Rivers Cuomo had on Buddy Holly glasses,
right,
for it. But they were like playing Arnold. It was great. I think it's a Spike Jonze video, who we all know is a master of music videos. But he, I think that's why they almost seem like a novelty band, because of the way that OK Go kind of seems like a novelty band because of their videos.
Right.
Because they had that one, then they had the one with the Muppets in it and stuff like that. So, but it was in Africa for a while, in South Africa.
Yes.
Got to meet some really
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It is really cool. It's not anything I ever thought I would.
Yeah. And my wife Lori is insanely jealous of you.
Well, I got to see leopard lions.
I know. You had like monkeys coming up to your like hotel room.
Yes.
And you had to be worried that they were going to steal your stuff.
Oh my gosh! Well, we were in the same
klepto monkeys.
Klepto monkeys, yeah. So we were, after the convention was over, we went to Sun City, which is okay now.
Right. Yeah, it didn't quite have a great reputation in the 80s.
No, it did not. And so
because there was all those bands that said, "Don't play Sun City."
I ain't gonna play Sun City.
Yeah.
So, so we went to Sun City because it's right outside of a national park, Pilanesberg National Park, and we were able to do a couple game drives through there, where you just drive around the park and see, just giraffes and lions and rhinos and
bears,
elephants.
Yeah.
Just in their natural habitat, like where they would live. Like anything that you saw from a zoo came from this place. It's incredible. So we were in the same hotel as a friend of ours, Andy Diggle, the writer.
Right.
He
Who is the guy who created the Loser, co-created
Losers.
the Losers with
Yes.
Jock,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
so if you ever saw that movie
he
or
was a
read that graphic novel.
yeah, he was a couple of rooms down from us in Sun City,
Hmm.
and he had his balcony windows open. They were just balcony sliding doors. There was really no balcony to go on because monkeys.
Right.
He had his doors open, and he posted a photo. He was in his room writing, and he posted a photo of it, and somebody on Twitter, and somebody said, "Mate, you got to close those doors. Those monkeys will come in and they will try and nick your luggage." And he's like, "What? Okay." So he closes them, locks it, and then like a half an hour later, he hears like a boom. There's a
Hmm.
baboon on his balcony trying to open his door.
Whoa.
So yeah,
Let's
they
just be
will.
glad they haven't figured out how to break the locks yet.
That's the thing. It was. And Chris was walking around because the monkeys start to come out more at night when the people are not around as much.
Right. Right.
And he saw a monkey eating out of the trash, like digging through the trash, and he pulled out one of those um, sort of push pop popsicle wrappers, sniffed it, licked it a little bit, and then threw it back in the trash. I was like, "Good job, monkey! Way to save the environment." I was very
it's
impressed.
it, it's eco-friendly monkeys.
Eco-friendly monkeys, yeah, but there were baboons everywhere, and we were sitting out by the pool, and there was a baboon like climbing up the building, like up to like the seventh or eighth floor, and we're like, nobody is safe from these monkeys. This
Well, you
is
guys did
crazy.
see Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, we need to be careful. And then, but yeah, just sort of driving around, you see monkeys, peacocks. I mean, it's so that's the one way I've said this before. The one way you really know you're someplace different
Right.
is the ecosystem because
Yeah.
people are the same everywhere. Um,
It's the environment that's
yeah,
different.
cities are cities, but it's like when you're out in the and you're even in even when you're in a city like Brisbane and there's no pigeons but there's ibises. You're like, wow, I am somewhere else.
Right. It's
It's really
that kind of almost, for lack of a better term, alien landscape.
right, right. It's just so different because I was two hemispheres away from home. 'Cause
Right.
I
It's
was
not quite Columbus, Ohio. Let's
I
just
was
put
in
it
the
that way.
southern and eastern hemisphere, so
Yeah.
it was totally
Right.
different. So
That's very cool. So
yeah.
that's very awesome. Um, before you guys think that we're like talking vacations all night or Weezer all night, we're going to talk about some Twin Peaks, everybody.
Oh, I
Haven't
keep
forgotten.
forgetting. I keep forgetting to put this picture on our site. I was in the hotel, and I haven't shown you this
Hmm.
picture yet, Charles. And I
Uh-oh.
and I went up to this woman, and I said to her, I said, "May I please take a picture of you and your outfit?" And I told her, I said, there was a show in the United States called Twin Peaks. Blah, blah, blah. I told her the whole thing. This
Yeah.
woman was wearing a black and white chevron skirt
Nice.
and a red sweater.
Really?
Yeah. Chris is like,
Completely unintentionally.
completely unintentionally. She was beautiful, and this outfit was beautiful, and I just
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you're like
What?
Twin Peaks,
Right.
like cosplay. You don't even know
You're
it."
you're a walking red room.
And I asked her, and I told her, and she just laughed at me. I mean, she just got a kick out of how crazy I was, but
You're a walking Black Lodge.
oh, it was so fun. It was so.
That's so
I got
fun.
to remember to post that photo because she was
Yeah, you
gorgeous.
please do. That'd be great.
Yep, just
Because
walking Twin Peaks,
yeah. So yeah, tonight we're going to talk about May the Giant Be with you,
and also with your spirit.
and also with you. Yes, which is the season 2 premiere of Twin Peaks that aired way back on September 30th, 1990. And yes, I watched it live, as I
Mm.
did every Twin Peaks episode. Written by Mark Frost and David Lynch.
Heck yeah!
Directed by David Lynch.
Heck yeah!
So, heads up, everybody, because, yeah, there's going to be a little one or two scenes that are very Lynchian and very frustrating,
Yes.
to say the least. And we'll talk about those.
If you thought sweeping was bad,
Right.
if,
All you crazy kids that are crying about, oh, I watched 7 minutes of sweeping in Twin Peaks The Return, and how horrible was that?
mm-hmm.
Well, I give you Hank Warden as the old waiter,
The old way.
bringing Dale Cooper a glass of milk,
Oh,
a warm milk, I should say.
oh my goodness!
Yeah, so he gets introduced in this episode. This isn't his last episode. He's pretty much a recurring character throughout the second season.
Mm-hmm.
pops up in very unexpected places.
Spoiler alert,
And we,
more important than you think initially.
yes, one
Okay.
and the same. Yeah. And speaking of which, we also get the introduction of Carol Strucken as the giant.
Excellent.
Now he's not the fireman.
No, he's the
yet.
giant here. That's why.
Right. And I have this theory that like the giant and the fireman are related because it's played by the same actor. Somehow they're opposites of each other.
But they're not the same guy?
I don't think they're the same guy.
Interesting.
Because because Carol Strucken's giant, well, I can't really talk about it because we don't want to spoil too much about his manipulations, shall we say, going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the giant is more than he appears. Let's just put it that way. And the fireman, though, we talked about that the fireman we believe that what we saw was the White Lodge.
Right.
So if the fireman was in the White Lodge, the giant, presumably the Black Lodge.
Oh, so they're from different lodges. I like this.
So the way I'm kind of looking at it is like if you're a comics geek, like I am, think of it as like the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay, I got that.
If you want to look at it that way. That kind of dual sides of the same coin kind of thing.
Okay.
The good and the bad, or if you're not speaking in those strictly abstract terms, like the light and the dark, or, the positive, the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Take your pick.
Okay.
Take your pick. However you want to look at it.
I gotcha.
Just that kind of opposites.
Okay.
Opposing forces, I'd like to think. And then we also get the introduction of all people, Alicia Witt as Gersten Hayward.
Yes. Oh, so
who
sad.
plays a little Hayward Boogie.
Yes.
At the end of the credits in this episode.
Yep.
We get the introduction of Mac Takano, as the Asian man / eventually revealed as Jonathan Kumagai.
Oh, it's no good when he comes to town.
Yeah, he's all kinds of shady.
He's coming to collect.
Not nearly as shady. Yeah, not shady as old Josie Packard, but kind of shady.
Yeah, because she's nowhere to be found in this episode, so.
Right. But Jonathan's here.
Mm.
And then we also get Mark Frost actually playing a televised character in this episode.
I know. I had forgotten about that. I saw him outside.
He plays Cyril Pons, this TV reporter that shows up when Shelley Johnson's watching a news report or something in a hospital room.
I had completely forgotten about that. And I was,
it's like that. That's that Mark Frost of writing Twin Peaks and whatnot. And then we get cameos from various people, including Frank Silva's Bob, of course. Phoebe Augustine returns finally as Ronette Pulaski. Remember her?
Yep. She's still in a coma, kids.
Yep.
It's not been a good time for her.
Yep. Miguel Ferrera's Albert Rosenfeld.
Albert Rosenflower.
Yep.
And that's
Don Davis.
This is the episode where we first hear Andy call him Albert Rosenflower. So
yes, it is.
Now you guys know why I say that, and I'm not just crazy.
Yeah. And we'll get to that point. I'm sure that was something we're gonna have to acknowledge as we review this.
One of my all-time favorite scenes in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, and we get the return of Mary Jo Deschanel. Yeah, that's Emily Deschanel's
Emily and Zoe's mother.
And Zoe's, yep. As Eileen Hayward. Haven't seen her since the pilot, I believe.
That's right.
And the usual suspects. Oh, and we get the return of Jessica Wallenfels as Harriet.
Oh yes,
Hayward.
Yes, we see the whole Hayward family.
She of the infamous deflated tire, bike tire.
Dad, I'm going to tell it to you straight.
See that window? Deflate gate. Yes, yeah.
Harriet.
So, and I think this is the last time we see Harriet, by the way, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of the.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. But considering how Gersten turned out, probably not a bad thing. Probably
they all had really rough lives, but Gersten, I feel is really struggling.
Yeah, well, Gersten, because we know what happened to Gersten because who she hooked up with eventually from the return.
Jeez.
So no deleted scenes in this one, but there's a little bit of trivia before we get started. there's a director you may have heard of that was originally interested in directing the season 2 premiere before David Lynch decided to take it on himself.
Hmm.
And Zan, do you know who I'm talking
I
about?
have no idea.
Steven Spielberg.
What?
What? Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, it's true. And I actually wrote a damn good Coffee and Hot article about it. If you're curious, you could
I need to
always
read
just do a
that.
search for Steven Spielberg and you should be able to find it, hopefully.
Yeah, I should.
But yeah, apparently, yeah, he was actually he was talking about he wanted to direct some Twin Peaks, and they thought that he would be good for this episode, but I think the scheduling didn't work out
Mm.
or whatever reason. But how weird would that have been, have Spielberg directing a Twin Peaks
I
episode?
don't know how I feel about that.
Well, he did direct Amazing Stories,
He
if you
did,
remember that
but
show, and he did a really good job with that, I
he
thought.
did. He did. I don't know. I like my Twin Peaks a little
So,
more
yeah.
less mainstream. I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're going to get David Lynch or Steven Spielberg, you're going to go for David Lynch for Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
like that's not even a given, right?
Right.
I mean, Spielberg's great and all, but if you got David Lynch available,
Yeah.
you want David Lynch.
Spielberg is honestly, if we're going to swap things around like that,
Yeah.
if we were going to swap projects that David Lynch did and
Mhm.
give them to Steven Spielberg and swap Steven Spielberg
Right.
projects and give them to David Lynch,
Yeah.
I would rather see a Spielberg Elephant Man or a Spielberg Elephant Man and a David Lynch, maybe AI or
Oh, wow, that would be.
or
I'm just trying to picture a David Lynch AI.
or a Catch Me If You Can or something.
Hmm,
But I think
that's
I think
interesting.
Spielberg, or even like a Spielberg straight story might have been interesting.
Right. I could see him doing that.
Yeah. Or you know something? You know what I think?
Well, Spielberg could obviously do Dune, I think.
He could. I think it would be a little bit more of a popcorn film. I think I would
Right.
love
I
to have
agree.
seen the Jodorowsky's Dune. I don't know if you've seen that documentary, but it's
I have not, but I
it's
want
wonderful.
to.
It's
I
really,
haven't done
really
that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I think David Lynch would have done a good Duel as well.
Ooh, yeah, he would have.
Yeah. So I think that something that benefits from the Lynch flavor more, I
Right.
prefer having Lynch more closely to.
Mhm.
Because I think when you have a director
I-
that has its own flavor as much as Spielberg does, I feel like that's a conflict of styles. I think a little bit.
right.
So.
Yeah, I know Spielberg didn't direct this movie, but he did produce it. I would think, that a David Lynch version of the Goonies.
Interesting. I think that's a hard one.
Like I said, I know he didn't direct it because Richard Donner, who directed Superman,
it's such a
directed
Donner for me.
the
That thing
Goonies.
is so benefits from the Donner dry sarcasm.
Yeah,
Even something Spielberg produced but didn't direct would be
right.
Poltergeist, which
Now Lynch would do really good with
he
Poltergeist.
would, but there's a horror thing going on with Tobe Hooper that I think is perfect. So Tobe Hooper is sort of made for that horror kind of stuff. Where David Lynch is horror, but I think he's better with Lynchian type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if Poltergeist had taken place in a small town in the Midwest, hell yes.
And we could have done we could do a whole episode of what if David Lynch
Yeah,
directed this?
We certainly could.
Because there's just the
Wasn't there something recently that people did a fan cut trailer of because David Lynch was set to direct it or something like that? It was like Back to the Future or something really. I forget. I'll have to look that up.
Maybe it's probably on YouTube.
Oh yeah, totally.
All right. Okay. So, and one other thing before we get started, that I have something for Zan
Sweet.
in my hand, which is obviously everybody out there in podcast land can't see. I've got me a box of Twin Peaks trading cards, y'all,
We're gonna split that.
and
It's gonna be awesome. Oh,
unopened, all shiny and wrapped in
it's wrapped in
plastic.
plastic. Get Harry on the
Yep,
horn.
yep. And apparently this is limited. This is like number 507.
Of
I have no
all right.
idea. Oh no, I'm sorry. Of 4,000, it
Okay.
says right here in the
Okay.
box.
Cool.
So 507 of 4,000.
Hopefully we can make a full set because you're almost there.
I'm almost there. I'm hoping I can complete my base set,
Yes.
but we'll see. We may have to do some wheeling and
We
dealing.
might have to. All right. I'm excited.
But so I just want to let you know that yes, this has arrived. So now Zan and I can sit down on the floor and annoy our spouses
Sit
as
down on the
we
floor. Just
open up
need it.
trading
Need it.
card
Got it.
packs.
Got it. Got it. Need it. Need it. Got it. Got it. Ooh, need it. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So let's dive right into the episode now.
All right.
If everybody's
I'm
ready.
queued up to where
And
there's trees superimposed
yes.
over the beginning of the hotel.
Yeah. So we tried to do this last week, and again, I have to apologize for that because I had some technical difficulties on my end. But so where I'm at is we're looking at the exterior of the Great Northern Hotel, and I have directed by David Lynch.
You have directed by David Lynch. All right, let me get that. There we go.
Yeah,
All right.
that's where I'm at.
Are you
That's where we
on
had
directed by David Lynch, or are you?
I am on directed by David Lynch because it
All right.
kind of picks up right.
Okay.
after
Well, I will. I'm
that
there too
phase.
now, so we're good.
So by the time the play starts, then it'll go right into where we need to be.
So everybody, podcast.
So for all the yous out there, this is around the 3-minute 5-second mark, and it says directed by David Lynch. That's where we're paused at. So if you're ready,
join along with us, will you?
and yes, come along, join us on our journey as we
Come with us
start
now
season
on a journey
2.
through time and space.
Exactly. Witness if you will.
Good one. Good one.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't wait for the joint
especially
deal.
more relevant. Yeah, I was going to say it's more relevant now because Jordan Peele's bringing back the Twilight Zone, you guys.
Jordan Peele, excellent.
And Zan is all kinds of
I am
excited.
all kinds of drooling, yes, because I love me
Yeah,
some Jordan Peele and I love me some Twilight Zone.
Yeah, she is definitely a zoner.
Oh yeah, big time,
So,
big time. That is my favorite TV show of all time.
now, see, David Lynch should have directed. The
Oh
Twilight
yes, he
Zone.
should.
How great would that have been?
Well, it still could happen.
That's true. You're right. It could still happen. Jordan Peele, get
Come
on
on,
that.
Jordan Peele.
Make
for
that
us,
happen. That
Yeah.
has to happen. At least one episode.
You would think that Twin Peaks.
I don't care what it
Yeah,
is.
just one.
Just make it
Just
happen
one,
for one
yeah.
episode.
You would think that my favorite TV show would be Twin Peaks, but no, that is my number 3 favorite TV show of all time.
Ooh, interesting.
Twilight Zone is number 1, and I think we all know what the second one is.
Yeah. The Prisoner.
No, that'd be The Simpsons.
Oh, of course. Stupid me.
Exactly.
Out of it. It's 8:00. I've been up since 5:45. That's my excuse, and I'm.
All right, we
sticking
got to
to
get this episode so Charles can go to freaking bed. Oh my gosh.
it.
All right.
No, I know. No. All right. So let's see. So everybody ready? We're gonna press
I'm
play.
ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Boink.
Doesn't it look like I'm ready? I am always ready.
I should probably put my headphones in.
Cooper's been shot. He'd been on the phone with Andy. Now here's another thing. I mean, this old waiter is one thing. Andy stays on the phone saying, Cooper, can you hear me? For way too long. The first time he says, Cooper, can you hear me? And Cooper doesn't reply, Andy should be on his way there.
Well, it is Andy.
True.
So here comes Mr. Speedy with the more milk.
Seriously, this milk is ice cold by the time this guy even leaves the room. And what you doing down there?
Yeah, how you doing down there?
I am
Yeah,
covered in blood.
You mean apart from my shirt having like a heavy flow day?
Seriously, I am covered in blood, and I have scorch marks from where the other bullets were that hit my Kevlar.
And I have all these gross wood ticks on me.
Oh my gosh. And now he's on the floor, so maybe he's got wood ticks all through his hair. I don't know.
Yeah, you think they need to get an exterminator for that hotel?
Well, you look at that hotel. It's nothing but wood. They're out in the woods. You can't not have wood ticks. That's like trying.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think you'd have guys come in regular.
That's like trying to not have mosquitoes in some sort of.
Oh, and all the waiters having problems with a phone.
Oh, See, that's the thing. Yeah, and now he gets hung up on. So I hope Andy's
Right.
going, Sheriff Truman, something's wrong with Agent Cooper. He's like, I hung up the phone for you. Oh, good. My one chance to talk to the outside world that might be able to do something about the fact that I've been shot. Oh, did you call the
Did you call
doctor?
the waiter or call the doctor? Excuse
And
me.
he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, sir.
Because I'm old and therefore I'm easily confused.
Oh my gosh.
There
Oh,
is. Way to go, Senor Drool Cup.
this is so infuriating. Cooper's being so nice too. He's like,
Yeah.
this guy can't help but be whatever he is. I can't,
Right.
it's, oh my gosh.
Oh, and here's the killer part.
He's making him,
He wants Cooper to tip him.
yeah, or to sign, or at least to sign for the milk.
Well,
What does this have to be, like $3? I think we can wait till he's not bleeding on the
well,
phone.
at least Cooper has the presence of mind to like. Does this include a
Yeah,
gratuity?
he's not going to give him any extra. He's going to let him sit there and die. I'm not going to tip somebody who is going to sit here
Yeah.
and let me bleed to death on the carpet.
Yeah. Only Cooper would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Only Cooper would tip the guy who left him to die from a gunshot wound.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my gosh. And it's like this is the thing about David Lynch. This is David
Yeah.
Lynch's version of comedy right here.
Right.
And this is kind of funny for like a minute.
Yeah, but it's drawn out way too long. And Lynch has this habit of just drawing scenes out way too long.
And
sometimes deliberately,
very
because
much deliberately.
I think right now he's deliberately trolling the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that when I watched this live, I was screaming by this part. I'm just like, could somebody please get Agent Cooper off the floor and get him like a Band-Aid
You're
or
like,
something?
come on. And that, again, and you're wondering, like, where the hell is Andy?
Right. And it's just like this old guy shuffling, and I was like, why is this happening? What are you doing?
So we think, okay, he's gone. Andy and Sheriff Truman are going to show up.
Figured
everything's going to be fine.
Yep.
And, oh, God.
No, he's back.
Oh.
No. I heard
about you. Thumbs up. And it's like, fine.
Yep.
Hey.
I saw you in that SNL sketch with Kevin Nealon and Chris Farley. Which had just aired.
Yeah, this is September. See, this is the thing. When you've been waiting all summer to find out, A, if Cooper's going to be all right, and B, who did this, this is infuriating. And
this is Lynch, and he's back again.
This is Lynch's version of comedy.
Lynch was trolling long before trolling became.
He's a master of this. Everybody. Yeah. So, and the thing is, now it's like I know what's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you right now, kids, we're not going to talk about who shot Cooper in this episode because we don't know yet. This episode's 90 minutes long, and
unless of course you've watched it before, you know
who did it. We all know who did it. I did. You saw me.
Exactly. Nice. Very nice. And this is where all hell breaks loose.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yep. Hey, it's Lurch from the Addams Family.
Lurch comes in, and he's got some wise things to say.
We know he's mystical because we have mystical sound effects going on.
Definitely
supernatural.
Definitely my favorite character that comes out of the Black Lodge in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the Man from Another Place, but I think the giant is.
Well, the giant isn't as creepy.
Well, no, the Man from Another Place is just he's like a oh, I can't even think of what I want to say. He's like a trickster.
Yes.
He's not particularly informative. Where, as the giant here he's going to tell him 3 things, and they're all going to make sense in this episode. So he's a little bit more he's cryptic, but he's a little bit more informative. Yes, there's a man in a smiling bag, and we're going to figure out what that means in a little bit. Whereas the Man from Another Place is always sort of smirking at you like he knows more than he's letting on.
Or that he's up to something.
He's definitely up to something.
Like he's got his own agenda and only he knows what it is.
And to this day, I don't know what kind of gum Cooper likes that's back in style.
Exactly, because that was never
We
explained,
never
was it?
explained that.
That one, that's one of the three things. It's like, yeah, that's one of the things with just for whatever reason we decided not to talk
Right.
about and
It's like
explain.
Judy. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
And we didn't even get, at least we got sort of an
we talked a
explanation for
little bit about
Judy.
Judy. Yeah, that's true. We did talk a little bit about Judy.
We never got to find out what that gum you like is back and coming back in style.
Exactly. Now, we understand what
Now, yeah. Now, here we have the giant taking Cooper's
Cooper's
ring,
ring.
and he says like, "Well, like I'll return it to you once you know these things to be true, so you know I'm not like messing with you."
Right. Right.
Even though I could just come right out and say what's going on, but
Leo locked inside a hungry horse.
Where's the fun in that?
There's a
Right?
clue at Leo's house, and I think this is definitely the scene that they were.
This is the funny part. You will
You will
require
require.
medical attention. No shit.
Yeah. Okay, supernatural being, pick up the damn phone for me, please.
The phone's right over there. You could call.
Yeah, seriously, you could help me out. But
make something happen, Ghost with the most.
where is that ring from? I don't remember. Whose ring is that?
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
It's somewhere.
Oh.
Was it something like?
Ew.
Was it his father's ring or something? Or
I want to say it was his mother's or something like that.
oh yeah, and here's the most
Gross,
skeevy
gross,
thing to ever
gross.
come out of Twin Peaks.
Let's have a look at the new girl.
Ben. Now, to be fair, Ben doesn't know that Audrey is like the new girl.
No, he does not know that, and so.
But Audrey does, and she's not really in a position to go, "Dad, it's me. Stop."
That's what's terrible about it. And the thing is, I would like to think that my dad would know that was me.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's one of the things I wonder is like, how does Ben not know his daughter's own
Well, have
voice?
you not seen up until this point what an absent father he is? That's part of this thing. He's such an absent father.
And you're Audrey, right? Yeah. Audrey. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Listen to Jerry.
And here's Jerry basically trying to assert his power over Blackie because Blackie's all strung out on heroin.
Thanks to the horns. Yeah. And he's.
Yep.
You used to be so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, these brothers are terrible people.
He's a dick. I think I'm high.
Yes. I don't know if my car
had to fit that in.
Jerry definitely became.
Could somebody tell me where I am?
Oh, jeez.
Ben is like Harvey Weinstein and Les Moonves all rolled up in
Oh my
one.
gosh, yeah. Except, spoiler alert, he doesn't rape her.
Oh, good point. I'll just mark one up for
Yeah,
Zan there.
Seriously, you got to give him.
Yep.
You got to give him at least credit for that. He doesn't rape her.
Right.
He goes back to Tobin and PJ and Squeeze house to lift weights.
If you saw the SNL skit.
Tobin and Squeeze.
Now Audrey grabs the cat mask.
Yeah.
And hides under the blankets. But this gets all kinds of creepy here because like here's Audrey all in like sexy lingerie and Ben's got his like Bill Clinton cigar metaphor going.
That wasn't even a thing yet. That hadn't even happened.
I know.
In this episode,
like maybe Bill Clinton got it from Ben Horn.
When this episode aired, Clinton wasn't even president yet.
Nope. No, not yet. Not for a couple more years.
This is just, oh my God.
But it is all kinds of wrong.
It is all kinds of
many
wrong.
Levels.
Yeah. And
save, like, there's like a knock at the door that kind of like distracts Ben here.
He's being a little bit creepy with the next time I'll make the rules and you'll like it kind of a thing. So Ben Horn is not a great person, but at least for tonight, he doesn't rape her. So
yes, it's that awkward moment when you realize your dad's more of like a piece of a shit than
you had any concept of, right?
Right, because Audrey obviously did not hold her father in high esteem.
No, but
before, but now that she knows what he's really like,
she's also probably pretty darn sure that he's had sex with Laura. That he doesn't just regard Laura as, the daughter he never had, but he's probably had sex with her, which is
Exactly.
awful, which is just awful.
And Cooper is still bleeding on the floor.
And he's hoping that the voice activation has been inadvertently switched on by him.
Which is kind of like, okay, that's a little like loose story logic, but let's go with it.
Well, he's been doing that lately because of Waldo.
Oh,
Remember,
that's
he
true.
left it on for Waldo.
That's true.
You want some orange, little birdie? Come on, let's share.
Aw, poor Waldo.
Oh, Waldo.
He shot Waldo.
Aw, all over the donuts.
Oh, poor
I
donuts.
know, right? There's just a total waste.
Total waste.
Leo Johnson. So now we figure out why Cooper has been shot, even though he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah. And he's like, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but this is the same guy that, and this is coming from the guy like got stabbed by Wyndham Earl. Oh wait, that's coming up.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, well, technically it happened in the past. So
yes.
Before this series.
As I always imagined it would be. And I think this line coming up right here about fear, that you could say that for anything in life, that
right.
It's not as bad as long as you can keep the fear from your mind. And I think that's very true. I think we live that every day with, every time we get in a car, or just our own or our own mortality, or what have you. If you can keep the fear from your mind, you're going to be okay.
Fear is the mind killer.
I must not fear. I will face my fear.
And the irony that Kyle MacLachlan is
the two greatest,
both.
two of the greatest little speeches on fear come from Kyle MacLachlan.
Yep. Pretty much.
No, I love Cooper's regrets and what he'd like to do if he had more time.
There's a great line in here.
To treat people with much more care and respect, which I think is interesting because I think Cooper treats people with a lot of respect, but I think he is very on the surface.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily he's caring.
Well, he's professionally polite.
Yes. Here it is, Charles. Cool grass, not too cool. Tall hill, not too tall, and feel the sun on my face.
Coming up.
Oh, the Lindbergh kidnapping case.
Kidnapping, yes. This is what he's thinking about as he's bleeding out. Oh, the
Here
Lindbergh
it is.
kidnapping
I would very
case.
much like to make love to a beautiful woman
who
I had
genuine affection.
Which I think is interesting because...
And he talks about wanting to visit Tibet, so...
I think that's an interesting statement because we now know, and we know this from his tapes also in the My Life, My Tapes, that as much as he loved her, he never had sex with Caroline, did he?
Yes, he did.
Did he? Oh, yes, that's right, he did. So I think Caroline...
Mm-hmm. He did.
Was the only time this happened.
Right.
Okay, now Andy and Sheriff Truman finally show up.
So here's the question then. Did he not have genuine affection for Caroline?
That's what I'm wondering.
By his statement?
Yeah, that's a question. I think he did because obviously, but there's probably some sort of...
Maybe he's just looking at it differently. Like, okay, maybe like in order to process this,
this practice
I'm not
is hilarious.
This...
Again, David Lynch comedy.
Yes.
Hell of a way to kill a wood tick.
Wood tick. Ba-dum-bum.
Still on the bullet. Cracks me up.
Yep.
Awesome. And here Cooper finds out that last night is the busiest night since the was it the Elks gathering of 1959?
The Elks Club fire in 59.
Elks Club fire in 59, yeah.
It's like, dude, I want to party with the Elks Club.
Right? Seriously, I love Lucy. She's got to look at a book. It's like, Lucy, nothing ever happens in this town. You seriously can't remember this? Leo Johnson's been shot.
Well, to be fair, think about it. Nothing ever happens, so this is the one time that happens, so she can't deal with it.
Yeah, here we go. Catherine and Josie are missing, and poor Nadine is in a coma from taking sleeping pills.
Poor Nadine.
And he's like, how long have I been out? And they're like, it's 7:45 in the morning. You've barely been out.
Yeah. All that happened one night?
Elks Club fire at 59. We need to get a search warrant for Leo Johnson's house. Already on it. He was shot in his living room.
Yep. Cooper is Batman.
Pretty much. Oh, and Lucy with her deputy Brennan found him.
She's still like being all snotty about Andy.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's, like I said, it's...
Oh, Yeah, Hayward, Doc Hayward's basically pulling a like Bones McCoy here.
Yeah,
That he's not happy with what Cooper's like getting off the table
just give me a
here.
couple hours to get dressed.
Yeah. Ow,
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 owie.
ow, ow, ow. So the mill has burned.
Here we have a beautiful
Oh,
junkyard. Oh, the mill fire. Yeah, this is
yeah, it's
after
the
the mill
mill. This is the
fire.
mill fire. Mark
Oh,
Frost!
Mark
Mark
Frost
Frost! Yeah, I was watching this and I was like,
rocking.
"That's Mark Frost. I don't remember him being in this."
Cyril Pond. Now he did reprise that in the return.
Yeah, he
Remember?
did. I just had forgotten that
And there's Shelley recuperating in the
she's
hospital.
got to be terrified because all she knows
Yeah,
is
because
that Leo
as far as he knows, Leo's out there
Leo's
somewhere,
out there
right?
somewhere. Yeah, and she's trying to figure out. She got tied up.
Cooper's trying to put his tie on.
Yeah, she got tied up and was left to die in the mill. So she doesn't know where Leo is. She doesn't know that
Oh,
he's gone. And there's Jacques Renault.
is that bag
Not yet,
smiling?
Cooper.
Oh, and here's where Lucy gets all snotty about.
What's there to smile about? I don't know.
What's there to smile? Well, way to make it all about you, Lucy.
Well, that's. I don't. It's not that. It's not that he got her
Oh,
pregnant. They
hey.
got pregnant together. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Renat Pulaski, remember her?
Yeah, kids. You remember?
Hey, Ronnie.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Still in a coma. She had a rough night.
Girlfriend in a coma. I know it's serious.
But I would hate anything to.
And here's a flashback of Ronette,
In case you forgot,
just to remind you who she is. Yeah, because she hasn't been seen since the pilot.
Yep. And
but she's stirring. Uh-oh.
she's having she finally gets to wake up from a coma and she has to have nightmares.
Not yet.
Terrible, poor thing.
She's just stirring a little bit, like just a tease.
She's in and out. She goes in and out of consciousness. Meanwhile, at the Palmer's house,
yep,
something really weird is going on.
Here's Maddie staring at that pink carpet. Pink carpet? Seriously?
50s decorating.
Yep. The only mention that Sarah has a sister.
Have you been missing your mom? You're supposed to say, I'm 22. Oh, green.
Sarah's just like, oh crap, you're one.
Yeah.
You're like me. You have the shining.
Yeah, right there, right from this angle where I'm sitting.
You have the shinning.
I think he means shining. You want to get sued? Okay, and now we have one of the worst novelty songs in the history of novelty songs.
Yeah. Yep. It's Leland with white
hair. Yep. Which is kind of what he looks like now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ray Wise.
Oh, this is...
See diving.
Oh, mercy does.
Say what you will, Ray Wise has a nice voice.
Yeah, he does. Kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Which, legit, this is where I learned this song. Was this show. Wouldn't you? Wow. And yeah, just like, what the hell is going on?
And everybody's just like, what?
Yeah.
WTF?
And I don't even know if Sarah knows what the hell is going on. Like, I think she knows that Leland is prone to... And now there's blood all over the carpet.
And now there's a blood stain that's body-shaped on the floor.
Yep.
I guess it runs in the family, huh?
Look at how good she is at looking terrified.
Yeah.
She's so fabulous.
Yeah, Shirley is really good.
Like, when I hear her scream or when I watch her be afraid, I'm genuinely terrified. She's so...
I mean, she does the whole the face shaking, the hand shaking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so what's going on with our criminal enterprises? Where the hell is Catherine?
Yep.
What's up with Leo?
And now another meeting of the Evil League of Evil.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Council of Doom right here. And then let's talk to
the Guild of Clematis Intent.
Guild of Clematis Intent, yes. Speaking of David Bowie.
Nice.
Oh my gosh! And they just look at each
And
other and they
now
start
Ben and
dancing.
Jerry like decide to get down.
I love Jerry's dancing.
Jerry's got some moves.
Jerry has some. Yeah, look at that! Woo!
Look at these. Yep, he's doing the worm under the floor, and
Like
then
3 steps. I mean, he really goes for it.
yep.
And of course, let's not forget Richard Bamer's dancing history.
Right. The little West Side Story.
Yeah. Oh my God! Did you see that tweet from Russ Tamblyn?
No.
He was happy about something about the negativity that's going on with Kavanaugh. He was happy about Kavanaugh getting called to the carpet. Basically, he's like that feeling when this happens, and it was a scene from West Side Story of him dancing. And somebody tweeted back, he's like, "Imagine being able to tweet this, but it's actually you." It was really good. It was really funny.
That's funny.
Shelley Johnson's about 99 pounds soaking wet. There's no way she could move a whole television, kids.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Sheriff, get your mind off Shelley.
I can't. I'm always thinking of Shelley.
Sheriff.
Yeah,
Sheriff, get
that's
your
the
mind
thing.
off Shelley.
This is an old console TV that was furniture. Yeah. I mean, it was furniture. Like you had it.
I mean, they were big, but even as a kid, I could move them. So I don't know why Shelley.
I don't know. That's a good. I think maybe it's moved too far.
Oh, I see. There was nowhere to move it to. Is that
what
you're saying?
No, I think it's just moved so far that it's obviously somebody big ran into it. Like if we moved it as kids, we moved it a little bit at a time.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
So that's what I'm thinking. So they're outside looking for. They're going through things for cocaine, and look what it is.
Albert's back.
Harry, you know who it is? What's going on?
Cooper sense tingling.
Yes. Andy, yep, there it is. Agent Rosenflower. That's why I call.
And smack.
Another fine moment in law enforcement history. Oh.
Shakes head. Hashtag shakes head. SMH.
And here you go, right?
Yep. Here he goes, everybody.
Here he goes. He has been knocked in the head.
Yep. He's staggering all over the place. And looks like he's ready to squat there for a moment.
And then this is again. It takes a little too long.
Well, this is Lynch, remember. This at least it's mercifully shorter than the waiter scene.
It is definitely. And
that's one of Albert's greatest lines.
And it's another fine moment in law enforcement history. And that's the thing. He's right. It leads to something. There's a point to this.
Yep. And now here's Harry going, "Oh, Albert, you may be more right than you realize."
More right than you know.
Yep. Ow, 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 ow.
2 pair of boots and a lot of cocaine.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle brand.
So we finally, nice. I like that. We finally found the cocaine. And Andy probably needs to get checked for a concussion.
Thumbs up.
Good work, Andy.
Give me a thumbs up.
There we go.
There you go. Ow, ow,
ow. Oh, my goodness.
It's a sunny, woodsy day here in Lumberton, so get those chainsaws out.
Seriously.
Damn, that pie's good.
Lumberton. That was on the other night. I watched it.
You can't not watch
seriously.
If it's
It was terrible, though. You know what I was doing? I was flipping back and forth between that and Roadhouse. It was like the greatest parts of the 80s and the worst parts of the 80s all together.
You just hit the spectrum.
I did. I really did. Oh. I have wanted.
So here's Maddie giving Donna Laura's sunglasses. And Maddie has apparently got this weird expression on her face.
She's had a rough morning.
And Donna thinks that's true. She did have a rough day. She's probably medicated by now.
Now that she's got glasses, she can act all sexy like Laura.
Yeah, now I'm all cool.
Now I'm Laura.
I'm not really feeling your Stevie Wonder impression, though.
I'm not really feeling your girl next door trying to be the whore either.
We're trying to be badass. Like, I'm going to be like Laura.
This I've always wanted to do with a pair of glasses, but I've always donated them to the Lions Club instead.
Anybody who wore glasses can sympathize with this. Wrench.
I hate them. I'm never wearing these again. Yeah.
Maybe she just get contacts, Maddie.
Yeah.
Just
So.
saying. I've got them. It'll work for you.
Yeah, I can't have them right now. Oh yes, James has been
Now,
arrested for cocaine possession.
Maddie's like squinting at Donna, like, I can't see you because I just wrecked
I
my
just tore my
glasses.
glasses up. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to absolve themselves of guilt.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Oh, and hey, Donna's smoking now for anybody like who
she's
cares.
trying to be Laura. That's the thing. I have her
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to
Exactly.
smoke, and I'm going to be a bad
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, you have no idea, Laura or Donna.
I'm gonna feel the bad girl void.
You have no idea.
Yeah. Donna is like the ultimate poser.
Yeah, she goes through like a week-long bad girl phase here.
Right.
I don't know. I just never particularly liked Donna all that much. You know? And then, I mean, I feel a little bit bad for her knowing what happened, but at least she's, at least she's back home working with her father. I mean, she's got a family that loves her. So.
Right. Well, Donna's kind of, I mean, she's basically like a very square character. So I'm sure Lara Florian Boyle really enjoyed the fact that she got to do something a little different.
Maybe, yeah.
But like not play Donna so goody two shoes.
Yeah.
For once, but
well, I think
it does seem so
Donna's an interesting character because I think she's oh, and here we have a message from Harold.
Thanks, Norma.
We don't know that yet, but it's from Harold.
More junk mail from WoW Cable.
Yeah, seriously. You know, I get junk mail from WoW and other cable companies in other languages. Really? I don't think they know what nationality Zan is. So I think they're just covering all their bases. Yeah.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Ovaltine.
Son of a bitch. So, oh goodness, is it 8:30? Oh yeah. Nope. The cat just perked up. It's time for cat food.
Just like clockwork.
Just like clockwork. Yeah.
You could tell. You could tell time by cats.
Look at the log lady just spitting her gum out the plant and then sticking it to the wall.
You stay classy, log lady.
Stay classy.
Norma obviously calls her on it later, though.
Yeah, that's true. You have to treat my place with respect, damn it.
You keep spitting your pitch.
Yep.
On my walls, on my tables.
So.
Only Cooper would wear a gun while he's getting his gun wound checked.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I'm sorry, you were like hypnotized by shirtless Kyle MacLachlan. A
little bit, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, shirtless Kyle MacLachlan being examined by Miguel Ferrer. I have nothing to say right now. I could watch this scene with the sound on or the sound off, doesn't matter.
You were like, huh? What? Did you say something?
Charles, are you still here? Are we still doing podcasts? What the hell? No offense. I would have said that about anybody. So yeah, so
now I'm gonna sulk for the rest
you
of the
should
podcast.
not sulk. Like I said, I would have said that about anybody.
That's all right.
I would have said that about Chris if he was in the room. But
I'll get back to you on
that. After the square dance, maybe we can all take a hayride.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this line. This is one of my favorite lines ever. Only blood squirted out. He's so excited about it.
Where does he keep his water dish?
Oh. Albert, you're such an ass.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Like he became more of an asshole in the off season.
Yeah, he did. He's had to be in Seattle. So here we're finding out that in Hungry Horse, Montana, we're finding out that Leo Johnson may not be as good for this as we thought because we're pretty sure that this is the same.
I didn't even know there was a Hungry Horse, Montana until this.
Oh, I'm saying.
Yep.
We're pretty sure that whoever did this killing is the one who killed Teresa Banks, and Leo Johnson was in jail the night she died. So there's no reason. So there's no way.
Yeah, he has an alibi. Yeah.
There's no way that he could be Teresa Banks' murderer. Woof.
Yep.
Albert Rosenflower. Such an ass.
Double scowl.
Mm-hmm.
Andy scowls, Cooper scowls.
Yep.
disapprovingly.
Lucy has to smell the whiteout.
Yeah, so like looked like I picked a good day to start sniffing
Yeah,
whiteout.
exactly. Picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
Oh, and hey, here's Philip Gerard,
Philip Gerard
with a suitcase.
Yes, selling some shoes.
New shoes.
New shoes. Yeah. That's the thing.
Sorry, I'm still buzzing off of this whiteout.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
There's a. I just got this image of Lucy sniffing the whiteout and then looking up and screaming, "Don't you effing look at me!"
Nice.
Oh,
that's so funny.
So funny.
A candy cloud.
Candy
color clown.
Oh, man. I like to sing Blue Velvet.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have the tape. We're having.
Yep. Harry's listening to Laura's tape that James brought.
Yep.
Over, and he turns it off. This is like the worst mixtape I've ever heard.
Yeah, this is terrible. What is this? Poetry? That tape.
Is this your band?
That tape had poetry and clarinet on it. Okay, poetry and clarinet. For those Over the Garden Wall fans out there.
Yeah.
Of which I am one gigantic fan. Yeah, 3 ounces of cocaine in your gas tank. It's like, yeah, that's not me. Yeah, I know, but what the hell, dude?
Yeah. Dude, we know you would never be like that badass to have cocaine in your gas tank.
What's the thing?
It's obviously not
He's
you.
a bookhouse boy.
Right. That's true. He is a bookhouse boy, but
yeah,
you're good. You're a bookhouse boy.
Yeah, you're fine. This guy.
You know the the high sign.
Mm-hmm.
High sign.
Do you want to play with fire, little boy? Start saying the scary poem about fire.
Yep.
One chance out between two worlds. Fire walk with me.
Yep. Would you like to play with fire, little boy? Now, where do we hear that again?
Somewhere.
Might want to pay attention to that phrase, kids.
We're going to hear that again.
Yep. It's a clue.
Yeah.
I mean, if she wasn't so hot, I would have dumped her in a heartbeat.
James is not like that. Bobby, yes. James, no.
James has always been cool.
James has always been cool. I know you have Laura Palmer's necklace. Give it to me. How did you do?
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Give it to me, baby. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So it was in Jacoby's office, but we buried it, so I don't know what the hell.
Yeah. I hope you washed your hands.
It was in a coconut. You put the necklace in the coconut. You lock it all up. You put the heart in the coconut.
That's not like a euphemism for anything, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so. God, I hope not. Yeah, I figured the other half of the necklace would be that. It's not Bobby's, so who the hell else would it be?
Yeah.
And it dawned on me. Something or someone frightened him off. I never thought he would have anything to do with this. He kind of doesn't, really. Except for being obsessed with Laura.
Except for being this really creepy-ass psychiatrist.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, I hate this scene. I fast forward through this every time. I hate the scene. I think it's...
Donna comes in with wolf whistle.
She acts like she wanted to do it with me right through the bottle.
It's like, okay, what is this, like a police station or a construction site? That the wolf was
where did that even come from? Seriously. And it's like, first of all, who needs sunglasses in Twin Peaks? I mean, really.
Right. It's like, I'm cool, I got my sunglasses, and look at me, I'm smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. This is not you, Donna. This looks stupid. You're acting.
And and Lucy's looking at her like, okay, whatever, Miss Thing.
Yeah, seriously. So
she goes back to visit James and the Slam.
Future home of Chad.
Mm-hmm. Future home of Chad, exactly.
Future home of Chad.
Chad, we hate Chad.
We hate Chad. God, do we hate Chad? Do you want ants, Chad? This is how you get ants.
We're hating Chad 25 years in advance.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Chad's probably like, 10 years
Like
old.
he's like in elementary
Yeah,
school
he's
or
like 10
something.
years old
I
right
know.
now. Ugh.
When I,
I smoke every once in a while when I'm trying to be something I'm not and being stupid.
yep. When I started smoking.
Oh my gosh.
When I started smoking. This is so horrible.
Ugh.
It's like,
This is ridiculous.
could you back away?
Yeah, seriously.
Kind of
Can you
like
maybe back up, please?
I'm getting secondhand smoke
Yeah,
here.
I'm in jail. Please don't make it worse for me.
Yeah, like I don't need lung cancer on top of like criminal charges.
Yeah, on top of cocaine in my gas.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I don't need to deal with your stupid crap, Donna.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Flick. Now I'm littering.
That is the weirdest
in a
thing, like
police
in
station.
movies. That's like a sexy thing, like when a sexy woman takes a drag off a cigarette and then blows the smoke in
Yep.
somebody's face. It's like
Right.
I've never
And
understood that.
like Donna, you taste like a crematorium. Like maybe do some Tic Tacs.
What's wrong? I'm in frickin' jail, Donna. Will you knock it off, please?
Like, okay, I guess what me being behind bars turns you on.
Jails get me hot.
That's what gets your engine revved.
Is it just not okay for me to want you? Yeah, there's a time and place for everything, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not like through the bars of a jail cell.
Like a Muppet Caper where they kiss. She's wearing his mustache.
Yeah.
Because they're through the little fence. Right. Oh my gosh.
Let me just gnaw on your knuckle for a while.
That's just weird. It's just weird.
that whole scene is
I
weird.
hate that scene. It's just
And I say this as a diehard Twin Peaks fan. That scene is weird.
Yeah, that's the weird scene. We can handle everything else, but like Donna just trying to be something she's not is just too weird for me.
Yeah.
Poor Cooper has been standing up and walking around too much. All right, I'm gonna lock you two in this room. You're gonna hash out whatever your problem is.
Like, and here's some porn magazines.
I'll lock you two in this room with porn, and I want you to work out your problems.
Yeah, it's that awkward moment when like Andy and Lucy are left with a box full of porn magazines.
You just want to know, like, where'd those come from? Are they used? Like, or
well, no. They said they had them shipped.
I'm thinking they probably had them shipped from Flesh World, but
right, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
And I just
because they wanted a complete set.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You keep, that's hard.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Diane said.
Yes, Diane said them. But yeah, where'd she get them? Is my question. Like, are they?
She probably had her own personal stash.
Yeah, you never know. I know where she drinks.
F you, Cooper.
F you, Cooper. I know. F you, Albert.
F you.
Just love Lucy looking at that. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. I didn't know you could bend that way. Meanwhile, at the worst design hospital ever.
Yeah. Well, the only thing worse than this hospital is
the food.
The food. Yes.
Yeah. As we find out.
The food is terrible. This is a really long-running joke about hospital food being terrible.
Right. It's like 3 times this comes up. Garmanbozia.
It's horrible. Ugh. Tell the psychiatrist about your broken ribs. You won't listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the shade. Doc Hayward is like salty as F.
He's been up all night. He's had more action in one night since 1959. He's been up all night. He's the only damn doctor in this town. The only other one had a heart attack.
Yeah. And the veterinarian's out of town.
Seriously, yeah. Where's that doctor that was working on Ronette the first time they came in?
That's a good damn.
Where the hell
question.
is she?
Maybe she took the night shift. I don't know.
Maybe she's at her private practice every day except Thursdays. Leo Johnson. So it looks like Dr. Jacoby followed Leo
right
as well. Now Leo he's in a coma also, isn't he?
He was shot.
He was shot, but
so, yeah.
I mean, isn't he kind of?
No. He's running around.
Running around yet? Okay.
Yeah, because remember that comes up later in this episode.
That's right. Yeah, he's running around.
He's got himself a rifle, sniper rifle.
Sniper rifle? What are you thinking, Tuna? I
I remember back in the pilot, I was like watching these guys, like
episode
all
when he
creepy,
was really
stalky.
creepy.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't tell them I was there because, yeah.
Lamenting my days of being the teen in the teen movies. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like,
Yep.
what the hell?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness, it is very loud bath time over here in my house. Sleepy cat bath. Laura was living a double life. Oh, you think? I think we're starting to
Yeah.
figure that out. And I think that's the interesting thing about Donna's character is
Yeah.
Donna is what everybody thinks Laura is. She
Right.
actually is that. I mean, she's not the homecoming queen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but essentially she's the role
Mhm.
model that everybody thinks Laura
Yeah,
is.
perfect.
You're
Yeah, the
absolutely
perfect
right.
daughter who does well in school, the girl next door, that kind of thing. That
Yeah. So here's Jacoby telling Cooper and Harry that Laura wanted to kill herself, allow herself to be
yeah,
killed.
she didn't want to kill herself, but she didn't necessarily want to stop it if it ever happened.
Right.
Um,
She allowed herself to be killed. That's kind of what, like decision to end her life means.
or just to not try. Yeah, just to not try anymore.
Yeah.
You were in intensive care last night when Jacques Renault was
Yep.
killed. Come on, dudes. I'm an old man.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I was here like getting like really high off of this hospital
Yeah,
drugs
seriously.
right now. All this morphine.
Do we know who killed Jacques Renault yet? Do we know that yet?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No,
Because
we
I know.
don't. I mean, we know who it is.
Did we see?
Because remember,
Did we see it?
we saw
We
Leland
saw
do
it.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, we saw Leland murder him.
Oh, here we go.
But they don't know that Leland did
yeah.
it.
Here's the engine oil. The scorched engine oil
Yep.
smell that.
Peculiar smell, like fanboys at a convention who don't use deodorant.
Oh,
Zan knows what I'm talking
there's
about.
nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
That can be pretty bad.
Yes, it can. Take the hint, guys.
Seriously, nobody cares. Girls,
Yep.
girls don't care how much money
Yep.
you make, or
So
how house you have, or anything like that. They just want you to be hygienic. That's all.
So remember when we were playing Bob or Leland about when Jacques died? The answer is apparently
It's
Bob
Bob,
because you smelled engine
Because you
oil.
smell the engine oil. Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, so gross.
And here's Bobby. Carmen Bozilla.
Yeah. Move that out of the way.
There's gag number 2.
Yes, yeah.
Food gag
The
number 2.
running gag about the house.
Literal
Literal
gag.
gag, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what? They don't have like a Wendy's in this town?
We have a Wendy's inside our hospital.
I know.
That's the thing.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
We don't?
We don't.
Okay.
If you're thinking of Mount Carmel
I was
West.
thinking of OSU.
Oh, I don't know about OSU.
OSU, I think,
Maybe
has a
we do at
Wendy's and an
OSU.
Au Bon Pain. Like
There used to be one at Mount Carmel West, and then it became a Tim Hortons, and then
okay. Well, at Ohio State,
then-
I know there's an Au Bon Pain, and there's a Panera that's open till like 2 a.m. It's nice.
And everybody out there in podcast line is like, "What the
What the hell
hell?"
are you talking about?
Just
We've
roll
had
with
some
it.
family members be hospitalized before where we need to know where the food is because we're there for hours
Yeah,
on
this
end.
is important. This is important
Yeah,
stuff,
we need
kids.
to know that. So yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, there's a, and I know when my dad was in the hospital last, he made friends with one of the food guys, and he would bring him
Right.
2 little cups of ice cream at night. So
Oh.
it
Nice.
so now we find out
So here's
that Leo is on to Bobby and Shelley.
Yep.
But Bobby is manning up and is not going to take this crap anymore from Leo. Like, yeah, I know I've been selling cocaine for him, but I'm gonna
exactly.
make sure he gets
Well,
his.
well, baby laxative.
Oh,
but,
there's that too.
Baby laxative.
Baby laxative. You already owe me money, 5,000. Because I'm going to tell you something. That food will kill you. No.
Oh, now they're gonna play doctor.
Yeah, this is kind of cute, but also kind of
Uh,
like creepy.
Bobby, you're cutting off my IV.
Bobby, I got oxygen coming in my nose. Come on. I have really, really bad smoke inhalation.
Here, let me just use this like drawstring
Mm-hmm.
or this
The
pull
pull string,
string
yeah,
as,
exactly.
as a stethoscope.
But it just sort of shows that they do really, really like each
Yeah,
other, which is,
right.
kind of cute. So you're kind of glad they get together, and you wish they'd
Well,
stayed.
the scene is actually the first time they actually say they love each
That's
other.
true. That's true. And I think it looks like it really makes Bobby happy. He seems he seems happy about that.
Yep. She tells him first,
Mhm.
"I love you."
Yep.
Bobby's like,
See,
that's
look, he
nice."
looks really happy. He's
And then
I
I
love
love
you
you too.
too. He seems happy about that, which is good.
Right. And they don't seem like they're actually lying to each
No,
other.
no.
This is actual genuine
Yeah,
love.
they genuinely love each other. Did we ever figure out how much older Shelley is? Like, are they the
Shelley
same
is,
age, but she just dropped out of high school?
I want to say she's maybe a year
Something.
older,
Yeah, I forgot. But yeah,
but she did drop
she
out.
dropped out in the
So
11th grade to marry Leo.
yeah, she was.
So
Yeah.
that's why I wonder if like she
What's
was supposed to be a senior with Bobby and Laura.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're the exact same age. I think Shelley's a little old, 1 year older,
Yeah.
maybe. She would have been a senior when they were a junior, but then she dropped
Okay, that
out.
makes sense. But yeah, she dropped it.
That's my
She
guess.
dropped out when they were
Well,
sophomores.
here's Big Ed smoking in a hospital.
Oh, poor Big Ed.
Ed, you can do better than that.
Yep. And here's where we get.
But it was the 90s.
Yeah.
You can get away with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm smoking in a hospital. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's well, and also David Lynch is to this day a chain smoker, so I think he's
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Everybody smokes in David Lynch movies.
So here's where we get
oh, Albert, I'm going to put you in timeout.
yeah, he's terrible. We get another glimpse of Big Ed and his feelings of duty, I think, towards
Yeah. Well, this is when we first really get the story of Ed shooting Nadine's eye
right.
out.
We get the story of Ed and Nadine and how they got together and how Hank and Norma got together, and the whole.
Albert's like, ugh, this is the worst coffee ever.
And he's like, he cannot. And Albert is like laughing so hard he's crying.
Yes.
He's making it look like he's choking back tears from the sweet romantic story, but he's laughing so hard he's crying.
Right.
Oh, one bad weekend. Norma ran off with Hank. And that's what I want to know. Like, how did that happen?
What precipitated that?
Yeah. How did that come about?
We need the whole, like, Ed Norma, like, the early
I want
years.
Norma's side of the story. Like, why did she run off with Hank Jennings, of all people?
Well, Hank's the bad boy. Maybe a bad boy in the flashy car.
I don't know.
That's why she and Shelley bond, is because they were both kind of victims of that.
Yeah, they both have the same.
They both have that weakness for hot guys and flashy cars.
But that's the thing. Hank's so not hot,
Well, maybe he was hot when he was younger.
Maybe. I don't know. But I just,
I don't know. Well, she thought he was hot.
Well, that's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Whereas I would.
I mean, if he was like considered cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Then that maybe makes him appear hotter.
But Ed and Norma were like the cool couple, so I don't know what was going on. Maybe the whole "I'll make him jealous" thing. I don't know. Yeah. And Albert's like, "Whoa, this story just got interesting."
Yep. See, you what?
You what?
Looks over at Harry. Looks back at Ed.
Like, okay, maybe this town is worth listening to these stories. This is hilarious.
See.
Yep.
I have to phone this into Jerry Springer.
This is freaking hilarious. I love Cooper. Man, that's a tough one. Never complain. Never blame me. Albert is like, he cannot hold it in. Never blame me. Never hated me for it.
Cooper being all sympathetic. Yeah. Albert's dabbing his eyes. Yes, Albert. And we know it's a real hanky crime.
Yep. So he's, you make your bed, you sleep in it. But he, you can tell that Ed genuinely cares for the well-being of Norma, even if he's not in love with her. He doesn't want bad
You mean
of
Nadine?
Nadine. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's okay.
he definitely wants.
Oh,
Oh, what do we have
Cooper
here?
sense tingling.
What is this?
Wait a second. It's a smiling
I
bag.
know, but it's smiling at me.
Yep. It's it's
Yep.
it's a body bag, Cooper. It's drying out.
It's drying up, but it's smiling, by God.
Yep.
So
So I'm not sure what the point of that was, but okay.
why is Cooper still holding James? I don't get it.
Mm, maybe I have no idea at this point
Yeah.
why they're holding him. They don't think he did it.
I know that's the thing, and they're pretty sure he's not.
Well, at this point, no, they did release him into Ed's custody right
No,
here.
they didn't. He just said take him back to his cell after this.
Oh,
Yeah,
did he?
just said
Because I
that.
thought he said, Ed, we're releasing him into your
No,
custody.
he said take him back to his cell after this.
Okay, now here's gag number 3.
Ugh.
Pete is just traumatized, but then again, Pete's suffering from smoke
Yes, he
inhalation. Rather bad smoke inhalation.
I don't know if you've ever been near a fire and had smoke inhalation, but it's horrible.
Yeah. Have you had that?
Not to the point where I had to be hospitalized, but I've been near a fire. Something caught on fire in the house one time and got all smoky. And you really do have to crawl on your hands and knees to get out because it's terrible.
Oh. And here's Norma modeling the latest in mom jeans.
Mom jeans. Mom jeans. Norma, I'm serious.
You
whole pie.
You guy. You
non-British guy. Oh, goodness.
Aw.
Then we have to...
Coming up next on the CW.
Coming up next on Invitation to Love, Norma sees the love of her life singing over his current wife's comatose body.
Yeah. Yep. I wish I was in a coma, so Ed could take care of me.
That's the thing. It's like that's part of what she loves about Ed is how sweet he is, and here he is.
Right.
He's really sweet.
And she has to go back to Hank.
Ugh.
You're right. Yeah. That's really gonna.
That's the worst part about it. It's like
I could have Ed, but I'd go back to Hank.
I wouldn't even wish Hank on Nadine. It's not like it's one of those situations where you wish the couples could just swap. But
right. Now here's one of my favorite scenes with Bobby and his dad.
This one's very interesting.
Coming up.
Yeah.
I really like this moment because this is as a guy with I have a strong connection with my father.
Oh.
So I really kind of identify with this.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Although I get along a lot better than Bobby does with his.
That's true. Was your dad ever in the military?
Yes, actually he was.
He wasn't career, was he?
No. He was in there for he was actually right between World War II and Korea.
Oh, so did he miss both wars?
Yeah. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. He was in between Korea and Vietnam. My mistake.
So did he miss both wars? That's great.
He almost got called up to the Bay of Pigs.
Really interesting.
Because he was a reservist.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
But no, he didn't. Yeah, that was. But he came really close to getting called up for the Bay of Pigs stuff.
Gotcha.
Back in '62, I believe.
My dad. I always forget the dates, but I want to say my dad joined the Coast Guard on a Friday, right. And either the following Monday or the following Wednesday he got his draft notice. Yeah. So he very narrowly avoided being drafted. So.
Yeah, my dad was stationed over in Germany for a while.
Oh, okay. My dad was in Hawaii, which is why my parents moved to Hawaii after they got married, because my dad really liked it there. He did all kinds of South Pacific type things. He was in Japan a lot and stuff like that. Oh, the huckleberries are particularly delicious today.
Right. See, it's interesting because Bobby's not really being a dick to his dad for once.
No, he's just sitting there listening.
He's just kind of sitting there because maybe he's feeling good about his relationship with Shelley.
And he just called him Bobby too, and he usually calls him Robert.
Yep. And just out of nowhere, he says, "Can I share something with you?" Which Bobby's just like, "What? This has never happened before, ever."
Yeah. I love how he gives you the definition of dream versus vision.
The clinical version, yeah.
It wasn't a dream, it was a vision.
And you get it in the hippocampus. No.
I was a floating head in outer space.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm jumping ahead.
Dad, what is it do you do exactly? Well, I just travel through time. No
Yeah,
big
no,
whoop.
nothing, no big thing.
No big deal. No
I do
big
all
deal.
kinds of secret crap. What is that? What was that called? Project Blue Book.
Blue
Yeah.
Book. Yeah, that's they did, and that actually existed.
Mm-hmm.
Project Blue
Yeah,
Book. That was a real
it
thing,
is a real thing.
where they did the government was studying UFOs,
Mm-hmm. I always like that in stories where the story
which obviously ends up becoming the inspiration for the X Files.
exactly. I like when stories presuppose that your fictional character was involved in an actual historic thing. I always
Right.
like that.
Well, it grounds it
It does. It
because
does.
it makes it more believable when you frame actual events around it.
Or just more relatable, you know.
Right. Exactly. Yes. It gives the reader or viewer a point of reference.
Exactly. Like I don't know if you ever saw the Julian Fellows, the guy who did Downton Abbey, did a
Yes.
three-part miniseries about the Titanic. That
Right.
is wonderful. I think it's fantastic. And one of the things that show presupposes is that one of the people who was on the Titanic was Peter the Painter, who was a Russian anarchist. He was sort
Okay.
of no one. He was unknown, but he was like an anarchist rabble rouser, and he kind of stopped all of his activity around the time of the Titanic. So that's the idea that the reason he stopped doing what he was doing was because he had been on the Titanic and he went down with it.
That's
And I
cool.
like stories like that, or like the
That's
movie She Creature. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's one of my all-time favorites.
No.
It's Rufus Sewell, yum, and Carla Gugino, yum. So
Yeah.
a little something for me, a little something for Chris. So
Yeah, I get
it's
it.
about
She was great in Sin
she's
City
wonderful. She's always wonderful.
and Watchmen.
And Wayward Pines. It's a it.
I really love this moment right
I
here.
know.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean
it's
to
okay. It's
interrupt, but
very sweet.
yeah, it's just like Major Briggs is talking about like I had this vision of you and we were happy,
Mm-hmm.
and Bobby's just like can't process this. Like he's just like wow, he's just blown away by
It's the
this,
most
and
emotional thing.
it's probably
Yeah.
you don't salute indoors, you idiot.
Makes an idiot.
Such a
Makes
tool.
an ass. Anyway, the long and short of She
Oh, sorry,
Creature.
sorry. I meant go back.
Long and short of She
Yeah.
Creature is that all the characters are killed by mermaids, but they're on the Mary Celeste.
Oh,
So that's the thing, is that the Mary Celeste was taken down by mermaids, which I think is very funny.
That's almost like a very Doctor Who type
Kind of,
thing,
yeah.
where you take something historical and then you're like, oh, aliens were responsible.
Right. That's one of the
for it.
greatest things about Doctor Who is that it's taking actual historical.
Right. Like aliens were responsible for the Great Fire of London in 1666.
Right, or Vincent van Gogh, or what have you.
Yeah.
So.
Right. It's like, hey, I just remembered that Hank shot Leo.
Now, does Hank remember that Bobby was there?
You better hope
not. Yeah, you better hope not.
But
Seriously.
I don't think so. Oh, now here's Cooper recapping everything that happened in Twin Peaks to date.
Nervous about meeting Jay tonight. That's the letter J, Diane.
Right.
Who? There are 5 people in that room. Are they going to eat all those donuts?
I would.
Well,
at least the glazed.
Yeah, seriously. I'll eat the crullers.
If there's maybe a powdered donut in there, I'm all over that too. I love me some powdered donuts.
I love powdered donuts, but I feel like I have to eat them over the sink.
Yeah, because they get so messy. Yeah. They are. Yeah, there's powdered donuts right there.
Damn it! Now I want donuts.
Right at them. Damn it! I want donuts too. Why do I have to stay away from carbs or cut down on carbs?
This is why we shouldn't. This is why we need to eat dinner before we do podcast.
I did, and I'm still want donuts.
See, I have not eaten yet, so.
Oh, you're probably starved.
No. Okay.
Well, we got a half hour to go. Hopefully, you can make
All
it.
Right. Back to our earlier conversation. I just got a text from a friend of mine saying, "Is it horrible that I consider Weezer and Weird Al covering Toto's Africa to be the ultimate pinnacle of my questionable musical tastes? Like everything I've never known I wanted."
That just brought our evening full circle.
Yeah. So we all know what the killer is doing. Cut out letter
Yeah.
R under the nail.
Albert's dropping some like new details, basically connecting all the
I
little
hate this
plot
scene. Oh,
threads
I
that
hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
yeah. Oh, where they dig out the
Oh,
letter from the fingernail.
hurts me.
Yeah.
Hurts me.
Think, hey, I've got that same Fire Walk with Me note in my Blu-ray set.
Yeah, that's right. That's in there. I forgot about that.
Yep.
And chocolate, which I love.
It's not about the bunny.
Is it about the bunny? No, it's not
It's
about
not
the bunny.
about the bunny. Everybody got that?
Everybody getting this so far?
And Andy's crying again, something we haven't seen him do since the
Because
pilot.
Lucy, it's so horrible. And so, Lucy feels bad and she wants to
That is
look
like
at
just
him.
this beautiful spread of
That
donuts.
is like 8 dozen donuts. Right?
I know.
Ridiculous.
I mean, they're stacked like 4 donuts high.
Oh my God. It's like, that is crazy.
You just
Albert,
shut your
don't
mouth.
talk that way. You talk smart.
You shut your mouth. You tell him, Andy.
Good work, Andy.
Yeah. Everybody's just like, yeah. And Albert's just like, okay, that happened.
Like, whatever. Oh, Lucy wants to follow.
Lucy's all like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a man.
And so is Harry going, yep.
Yeah, Harry's like, yeah, that's what you get.
And Albert's just like, okay, whatever.
Leo's in a coma. Yeah, see, I told you, Leo's in a coma.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
Because remember, that's when Bobby and Shelley are going to try and scam the insurance company.
Oh yeah, because this is all right. Yeah, sorry, I got like my timeline confused. All right, you're right. Yep. I'm wrong. I stand corrected. And here's dead animals.
We must be at the Great Northern. Oh no, we're not.
Nope, no. Actually, we're at Pete's house.
Yeah.
Well, Catherine Martell and spouse.
Yeah, Catherine Martell +1 was in that house. Seriously. And where is Catherine? We have no idea.
Well, Pete thinks she's dead.
Pete thinks she's dead, yeah.
And then Harry's just like, yeah, you might want to like brace for that.
Yeah, it's like we don't know where she is, but we're still not done looking through the fire, and so she's still my wife.
He's got a good line. It's like I feel like somebody taped my lips to the tailpipe of a bus.
Yep.
So, like, what kind of bus? School bus? Mass transit?
Yeah, dear Pete, I went to Seattle. Love you, Josie.
Yeah.
I had to leave the town on an emergency of business.
Yeah.
What could possibly?
I had to go commit criminal activities in Seattle.
Criminal shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yes. Exactly.
What is shenanigans?
Whoops.
There's ginger beer in the fridge. Love Josie.
And Pete's rocking a new like Scorched by Fire do.
Yeah, exactly. I also love how Harry's like really overly interested in the letter from Josie, but he can't really be all that overly interested. It's like, is there a phone number? Where is she staying? Where'd she go?
Yeah, exactly.
How can I find her?
Not that I'm codependent or anything.
Not that I'm really trying to find my girlfriend that nobody knows is my girlfriend.
Not that I'm clingy.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, poor Pete.
And Pete actually loves Catherine, as we find out here.
That's the thing. He does.
And he knows that, like, she's a horrible person, but he can't help but love her for whatever reason. He just loves her, and he's like, I know she's horrible, but...
Yeah, she's a terrible person, but she's still my wife.
Yeah. You might want to prepare for the worst. The worst, of course, being that Catherine's still alive.
You might want to be prepared for the worst, which is like a really, really bad...
The best would be that she's dead, but...
Yeah, the worst is going to be a really badly made-up Japanese stereotype that's going to come to town in a few days.
After an atomic war, I would have bet on her.
Seriously. That's very...
So what you're saying is Catherine's a cockroach.
Catherine is too evil for anything to take her down. Yeah.
Even like cockroach will be surviving after an atomic war, so Catherine's a part cockroach.
No mincing words. She was plain hell to live with.
Yep.
But get your boots off of my bed. Go to your room. Yeah, see, that's the thing. He remembers the...
Yep. There was a little bit of heaven there
He
too.
remembers the beautiful boss's
Poor
daughter.
Pete. It's like, Pete, why didn't you just hook up with a log lady? It made everybody would be
That would have
happy.
been adorable, but he already did that back in the 70s. But
Oh, I'll do that for you.
Pete's like, been there, done that, y'all.
I hit that. Already hit that.
Way ahead of you, pal. Makes me think of the Sinatra.
And on the chessboard of life, I put that one in checkmate.
Yep. Makes me think of the Sinatra group on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Catherine Martell or the log lady, who would you rather nail? I disqualify myself because I've done them both.
Hello, Chinese triad calling.
Oh, goodness. This is not good. This does not look good for Josie.
And coming up next on the Food Network, it's Jerry Horn's Diners, Douchebags, and Dopeheads.
Yes. That's a... Isn't that already a show, but with that guy? Isn't that already what we probably could call Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives?
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Douchebags, and Dopeheads. Yeah, that's kind of...
Guy Fieri, yes, I know. Lori loves that show.
I love that show, but God, do I hate him.
I hate him, and I don't like the show, so I go all out.
I'm committed. You don't like seeing those diners? I love seeing independent restaurants get their day.
I do, but
you gotta watch him. Yeah.
But I just don't want to hear him say, "Coming up to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives."
That's money right there. I'm in Flavortown.
Yeah.
Well, you have seen my Guy Fieri throw pillow, correct?
What's up? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a Guy Fieri throw pillow that my friend Chuck gave me as a white elephant gift for Christmas. My friend Matt and Stacy's Christmas party, but I was like, this is my pillow because it's hilarious.
It's a novelty
pillow. Novelty pillow. And it's just funny because he's just sitting right there and people are like, is that Guy Fieri? I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And I asked Chuck, I said, where did you get that? And he just looked at me and goes, the internet. And I'm like, okay. Whatever. All right, so now we're figuring out that
like Ben and Jerry are like circling Hank here, like they're.
Yep. He said he shot him, but then the cops showed up. He couldn't go in the house.
Right.
So, anybody see you? No, he does not know that he was chopping. He thinks he was chopping wood in the house.
He was chopping wood inside.
He was trying to chop Bobby up. So he doesn't. So yeah, Hank does not know that Bobby possibly saw him. Yeah.
Jerry keeps trying to get up and like, was it Hank's grill here?
Yeah, he's trying to.
That Jerry's like maybe all of 4 feet tall.
Did you notice that when he walked around Richard Bamer, the only reason he was as tall as Richard Bamer's shoulders is because of his hair? Did you see that? That was awesome. Yeah, watch this. Watch.
Let's see. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You did it again.
That's hilarious. And a co-conspirator Leo, then we're a shit creep. Yeah, well,
that's confidence.
If sex you mean cigars, that's going to happen.
Right. So, you're a bicep. Relax until we say flex.
The creative thinking of the Brothers Horn. Yeah, the creative thinking means the fire.
Yep. Now here's Jerry trying to start some shit with Hank.
Jerry's such a little waste.
Like, dude, I could fold you and put you in my shirt pocket.
Like, I went to jail for killing a guy, right?
Right. You guys. And then he's all like, oh, you guys.
Wait, is there anybody in this town that is a competent criminal besides Leo? It's like everybody's total idiot. Josie's pretty confident. Or she's pretty confident.
Josie's pretty good. Yeah. Jonathan was Eckhart? Thomas Eckhart? But we haven't seen him yet. We haven't been introduced to him yet. Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Oh, but he's amazing.
Yeah. David
I love me some David Warner.
So good.
Oh, goodness. Audrey's in trouble.
Yep. Audrey is now just starting to realize that she's in way over her head.
Way over her head.
Yep.
Yeah. When you work for me, everybody's your type.
Yep.
Mm.
Come here, little girl.
Yikes. What exactly is your type?
Type. Well, actually,
Not my
he's
dad.
wears a black suit, has a ton of hair
Yes,
gel.
looks like a movie star. Yeah, not my dad. That's,
But
I'm pretty open-minded, but not my dad. Thank you very much.
yeah, anybody but my
Well,
dad.
okay, anybody but my dad and my uncle.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good qualifier. Yes. Yes.
Anybody I'm
Let's
not
let's
related
put
to can possibly.
anybody I'm not related
Yeah,
to. Let's just
yeah,
put that
exactly.
out there. Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Audrey is way in over her head. Like way
Yeah.
in over her head. This is not good. It's just going to go downhill from here.
Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, at the Hayward house.
Oh, the adorable Haywards.
Yep.
I want to take over Laura's route on the Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm doing everything I can in this episode to become Laura.
I just figured it out. This is why I hate Laura. Not Laura, Donna. Why can't
Donna.
why my
That's okay. That's
have I
okay.
lost my freaking mind?
You've had a hard day.
This is why I don't like Donna. It's because what she does to Harold.
Oh.
That's what it is.
And that's spoilers coming up,
Yeah.
so we can't really talk about that yet. But yeah.
Harold's like the greatest thing ever.
Oh, and here we have the Hayward Supper Club.
Oh, she has very good news, and we're all very proud of her.
Very young Alicia Witt.
Oh, this just goes bad. This goes south so much.
Yeah. There's Harriet, who we haven't seen since the pilot.
She's the fairy princess in the school play.
Gersten's bragging that she's get picked to be the fairy princess.
And she got
this scene
highest
and this scene is actually kind of ironic if you remember the role that Cheryl Lee plays in Wild at Heart.
Oh yeah, that's true. Lula.
And here's a very depressing poem by Harriet.
Oh goodness.
Like, hey, let me I wrote this poem about your dead daughter that you're still like grieving over.
I swear to God, I had this exact outfit in like 1989.
That sweater?
Yeah, sweaters and turtlenecks. That was what we wore.
Yep. That was the thing.
That was, yeah. I will say.
Well, this would have been 1990, so yeah.
I've always said in Twin Peaks that teenagers didn't dress like Donna and Laura did.
Right.
But Harriet is on point with what these look like. Yeah. Harriet and Lucy are kind of what women looked like in the 90s.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true.
All right.
I remember.
What are we thinking here? Bob or Leland? I'm pretty sure we're pretty much all Bob now that our hair is white.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that was the whole point, was that all the vestiges of Leland were kind of shoved to the side.
Yeah.
And Bob's has fully taken over Leland at this point. I know we're spoiling it, but
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. It's a
Oh, Harriet.
And Bob thinks that was great, but Sarah is just still traumatized by Laura's death. She's upset.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we're thinking that maybe Sarah's human here, but I don't know. I don't know what Sarah is right now. Gersten, play some music.
Yeah. And here's me showing off what a prodigy I am.
Oh, Gersten.
Sarah is now in a trance.
Mm-hmm.
She is checked out.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Zabriskie does that so well.
What is on the table? Doritos and walnuts?
Something.
Kind of looks like Doritos and walnuts. Kind of funny. I feel so bad for Gersten.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Whose?
What the guy that she gets mixed up with? What's her name's husband?
Oh.
What's his name?
Yeah, I never remember.
I forget.
What is his name?
Yeah, I forget. I hated him so much. I think I just kind of.
I know. We blocked him out.
Yeah, I blocked him out.
It was Becky's husband.
Yeah.
Trying to remember his
Is it
name.
Johnny Barnett? Or no, it's not. No, it's not. It's
Something Burnett. Stephen Burnett.
Stephen Burnett. That's it. I was thinking of Johnny
Yes.
Bartlett from
No, Stephen
The
Burnett.
Frighteners. Yeah, Stephen Burnett.
Yeah.
Poor Gersten. Yeah, see, more than 150 jobs
Yep.
may be
150
lost.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Cal.
Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah.
This will open the door for the Ghostwood project. Blah blah blah.
Well, as as Ben's lawyer, I can't possibly talk about
Yeah,
that.
but we're all going to be freaking rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, as your doctor, Leland, what the hell's wrong with your hair? Oh, I'm possessed by an evil entity.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me show you. Bob comes out. Ah!
Oh my gosh. Back in the day when tomatoes were a side dish, I miss that. I miss being able to eat a beefsteak tomato as a side dish. So good.
Looks like ham.
Looks like roast beef. It's brown.
Ham and carrots.
That's a lot of carrots.
A big bowl of carrots.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that is. Got some nice dinner rolls with that action.
Damn it, I'm so hungry.
This is not helping.
This is not helping at all. And you know what? I wasn't feeling good today.
What?
So Chris said, should I have dinner waiting for you after podcast? I'm like, no, I don't feel good. I don't know if I'm going to want to eat anything. Damn it.
Yeah. So you got to
I
plan
got to plan ahead. I'm terrible at that.
Oh, it's time for a song. Let's get happy.
This is just awkward as hell.
Well, that was the whole point of the scene.
Don't get happy.
Because he starts off fine. And Gersten's playing right along, and Sarah's just like, oh, that darn Leland.
No, yeah, Sarah knows something is really wrong, and I think she's always known that. There's always.
But then you notice Leland keeps picking up the tempo, or I should say, Bob keeps picking up the tempo.
Exactly.
And Gersten ends up struggling to keep up.
She's just going. Come on, get happy.
See, here he goes. He's starting to pick up the tempo. And Gersten's like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Sarah's just like, oh, here we go. Doc's going, I'm rethinking this whole thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Dance with me.
And he's down.
Donna, get my bag.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, do doctors still have bags?
Well, Doc Hayward did.
I know. It's adorable.
Well, you remember he's just like the family doctor guy, so he would go around.
That's the thing, but I'm just wondering if doctors, like, even though they don't make house.
I don't think they still have bags, but
yeah,
they might have like first aid kits.
That's a good song. Begin the Begin. I like that song a lot.
Yep.
11:55 p.m.
Yeah.
Almost time for the.
Is it just me, or have like the roof gotten lower?
It's sure going to look like it when
to make Carol Strucken look taller.
Yeah, it's sure going to look like it when Strucken comes in the room. Not that he's not. I mean, we are referring to him as Lurch, but he was Lurch in the '90s movies for the Addams Family movies.
Yes, he was, but that was after this. But yeah,
sleep deprivation is a one-way ticket to temporary psychosis.
I'm working on a 3-day jag.
I thought I saw a giant in my room. Like, yeah, you kind of did, Cooper. And you're going to see him again, like a couple of times.
I was so hopped up on mushrooms.
Hopped up on goofballs.
Yep. Dale Cooper is the last man on Earth to wear pajama tops to bed.
Dale Cooper, last surviving member of the Nostromo, signing off.
Click.
Yeah. I always thought those pajamas would be uncomfortable. Like if you turned over and like laid on a button or something.
Right.
It seems like it would be uncomfortable. Oh.
Well, it seems like Cooper lays on his back, so I don't think that's an issue.
True.
But
can you hear me, Special Agent?
Oh, he does roll over on his side because remember his hair got all like screwy that one time when he woke up from his dream in episode 3.
That's right.
Where he kind of had that whole Frisch's or Bob's Big Boy hairstyle going.
Frisch's for us here in the Midwest, Bob's.
Yes, Frisch's was bought out by Bob's Big Boy.
And for all of you out in the on the West Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hey, there's Audrey's letter that
is under your bed. A little over my head. Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
I think you might be.
Help me, Obi Coop. You're my only hope.
It's just going to get worse, sweetie. It's terrible.
Yep. Blackie should come in and go, oh, by the way, did we mention that we're like have you microphoned?
Hmm. Yeah, we have your microphone,
Yeah.
and we're gonna tie you up and hook you on heroin, just like your daddy did to me.
Yep.
So,
It's the circle of life
well,
that
Audrey.
moves us
Hmm.
all.
But she is finding out very valuable information, that's for sure.
Right.
Um,
Too bad she can't report it to anybody.
yeah,
And she didn't really think of an exit plan.
that's kind of the problem. It's like this is sort of
Yeah.
not quite
What's your exit strategy with this? None.
some rescue.
Yeah. If I pray really hard, Agent Cooper will rescue me. That's my plan.
That kind of happens.
Well,
The
yeah.
giant tells him that he's forgetting something, and then he finds the letter finally. Um, when you came up to this horror house, didn't you have a plan for getting out?
You would think.
Yeah.
She obviously didn't think this through.
Oh, jeez. See, he's there, and the giant comes and tells him,
Yep.
"You're forgetting something."
I'm just creeping around your like hotel room. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm just here.
Waving my hand. Is he asleep?
Wake up, dumbass.
Yep. Hold on. Let me turn on the light.
That'll help. That'll rouse you.
Click.
Yeah, let me turn on my.
Yep. Like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. Turn the light off.
What? What do you want?
What?
Weirdo supernatural people.
I just got to sleep.
But you're forgetting
You're
something.
not sorry. Sorry,
Sorry,
not
not
sorry.
sorry.
And his hair is perfect.
Drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's.
And his hair was perfect.
His hair was perfect.
So we know the giant is tall because we have him right by the ceiling lamp.
Yes. Better to listen than to talk. Good at.
A lot of people. Now that is actually really good
That's
advice
great
for a
advice.
lot of people.
Yes. Yes.
Less talking, more listening would be.
Mm-hmm.
We would be a much better world if that
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Except for podcasts, of
Well,
course.
that's what we're here for, is to talk to you.
You guys do the listening, we do the
And
talking.
then talk to us on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, well, which we'll give that out here soon.
I just want to plant the seed.
That's very. I see what you're doing.
See what I did?
You're thinking ahead.
I
That's
am.
good.
Ready now to talk.
To talk. I love Carol Strachan's delivery with that.
Carol Strachan's amazing.
He is. So
You forgot something. Yeah, I'm not going to be that helpful and tell you what you forgot.
No. I could just tell you directly, but again, I'm just messing with you because manipulations. Ooh.
Did you notice he just sent a gold ball down to him?
Yep, that's true. The golden ball of golden energy.
Yep. Laura wasn't in it, but still.
Yep. Again, that's why I think he's related to the fireman.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that
Now,
theory.
I love it. This is coming up is my favorite tracking shot ever on Twin Peaks. This slow pan down the hospital corridor. So creepy. Very Shining-esque.
It is. Yeah, it is very Shining-esque.
Very Kubrickian, but it's Lynch too, and I just love it. Like, okay, we're coming down the hall. There's a presence,
Mm-hmm. And it's
we're
coming
just
for
coming
Ronette.
down the hall. It's coming, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's coming for her.
Yep.
And of course, this is.
Ronette's arms are starting to raise up, and she's remembering.
Oh God!
And then all hell broke loose. Holy crap!
Oh God! You guys can't see it, but I'm actually not watching this. I'm actually not looking at it. Oh,
Laura's got like blood all over her teeth.
He's so brutal.
And Bob is just beating the crap out of her.
He's so brutal. It's terrible.
Well, he's an animal.
Oh my God.
Ronette cries out for Laura, and then we see strobe light on Laura's body. The fire walk with me.
Oh man.
And we kind of hear like I don't know if it's hooting or just an animal kind of noise.
It's like an animal. Oh.
God. And then Bob just cries out, screams out.
Yeah.
This bestial,
this guttural
unholy, demon-like noise. That freaked me out because I was watching that again. This was late at night, and I was alone watching this, going, "Holy crap!" And I was just scared. That freaked me
Oh,
out so
I'm
bad.
still freaked out. Like,
Oh,
you saw me holding my
now,
hand over it, so
now,
I didn't have to look at it.
but hey, here's Gersten with a Hayward
This is
Boogie.
amazing. This is so much fun.
Yep. I love this track on the CD, on the season
Oh
2
yeah,
soundtrack, by the
I
way.
know. It's so great. And she's just going for it too. She's really good.
Yep. Well, Alicia Witt obviously knows how to play
She sure
piano.
does. Yep. And it's like, I'll be in your show, but I got to play the piano. All right, we'll figure
Yep.
something out for you,
Yep.
sweetheart.
It's like probably Angelo Badalamenti composed it, but she's playing
She's playing
that.
the hell out of it. Yeah, she's doing really well. Boogies are fun to play on the piano too. They're lots of fun.
And that's it.
And,
So there's our episode.
and we're done. And we still don't know who shot
And
Cooper.
Yep.
So
I did. You saw me.
You saw me. So it's kind of annoying.
So
But
exactly. But yeah, that's our episode, everybody. I know it was a long one, but that's the season 2 premiere. We don't have another double length one until the finale, so hang in there.
no, that's true. Yeah.
So we'll be back to much shorter recording time, so be patient with us. All right. So quick, so you can get some food. What's your rating for this episode?
My rating for this episode.
Yes. This is a big one.
This is a big one
because we especially with that reveal there at the end of what happened with Laura Palmer's death.
And I think that's gonna is what makes me give this a 9 out of 10 whole chocolate peanut butter pies.
Ah, very nice. What did you knock off the point for?
Just the fact that we're still waiting for so much, and we had to sit through the old waiter and be frustrated. That's what the point gets knocked off for. Yes.
Well, see, I knocked off a half point for the old waiter.
Okay.
But I gave it 9.5 out of 10. Smiling body
nice.
bags.
I like that.
I was going to go with that or vanishing body-shaped rug stains.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I thought
you
thought you might go with glasses of warm milk, so that's why I left that one for you.
I was thinking about that one, but I'm like, that's too obvious.
I also really like chocolate peanut butter pie, so I figure I would take that. And that's one of my favorite lines in this. Norma, I'm serious. Bring the whole pie.
Maybe I should have done uneaten stacks of donuts.
Oh my god. 8 dozen extraneous donuts. Extraneous donuts.
So many donuts.
So many donuts.
Donuts. Yeah.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, this is really good.
And it obviously drives things forward. Lynch and Frost are on point, except for maybe that old waiter scene. But again, I think that's just more Lynch deliberately trolling the audience.
That's exactly what that is, and it does a good job of keeping the tension that you had all summer long.
Because remember, like, well, for those who weren't aware, like Twin Peaks was really huge. This is like the whole big like water cooler buzz show during that summer, and so like when there was all this anticipation when Twin Peaks was going to be back, and what's going to happen with Cooper being shot and everything. So Lynch comes back, and we get this endless scene of the old waiter.
And that was the thing too, is that this show, it was not for the faint of heart. It was not for the fair-weathered fan. So the people who were watching this show were obsessed with it.
Right.
So,
which I was one.
Yeah. So when when there was stuff to talk about, you talked about it incessantly, and there was so much to ponder about it and speculate.
So yeah, it was just one of those things that you're can't wait to find out what happens, and then you're just like, are you kidding me with
Seriously?
this?
Really?
Yeah. And then Lynch is probably just giggling to himself.
Well, and
knowing the reaction.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and he did that again with the return and made us wait like 16 episodes.
Well, and the whole dragging out with Dale Cooper's return from Dougie.
Yeah, 16 episodes he made us wait for that.
Yeah.
So he's definitely into that sort of a thing.
He just loves to twist the knife a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we did get some feedback.
Excellent.
From Fred Firestein, aka Fred Firestein, who listens to other podcasts like Next Stop Everywhere and the Phantom Zone.
Oh,
so hi, Fred. I hope you're listening. But Fred, he apparently, when we talked with Karen Lindsay, my co-host on the Phantom Zone, upcoming on Next Stop Everywhere, that we talked about Dual Spires,
Yes, that's right.
the psych episode.
Yep.
Well, just so happens that Fred hosts a psych podcast called Psych Rewind.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to have to add that to my
part of that.
queue.
Yep. And so they've been going through, and they just recently recorded their review of Dual Spires, and in which case, and then they also gave Ghostwood a nice big old shout out.
Well, thank you.
Because Fred listened to us and me talking about it
Awesome.
and all this. And Fred also emailed us about that. So he says, "Hi, Charles and Zan. Charles may remember that I am a fan of a couple podcasts he co-hosts. I am also a co-host of the Psych Rewind podcast. We are about to cover the episode Dual Spires, which he is now done.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted the link on our Ghostwood Facebook page. You want to check that out. Because he gave us some love, we should give him some love right back.
I think we should, totally.
I think it's only fair. Which you discussed with Karen a few months back. I listened to your episode at the time, knowing this day would come. Yesterday I listened again, and I took lots of notes. Here they are below for your amusement. And he sent us this whole big thing, which I'm not going to entirely read because it's like 14 pages long.
Wow, nice.
This whole big thing. But he does continue in the body of his email. He says, if you'd like to send us some feedback or check out the episode when it's published in a couple of weeks, go to http://tvrewindpodcast.com/psych-rewind/
I will definitely be checking that out. I'm excited to hear that.
So just go to tvrewindpodcast.com and check out Psych Rewind.
Awesome. Yeah.
Of course, since Karen unfortunately had some health issues this week, we were hoping she will be okay to record on Tuesday. This is when she was having her, kidney stones.
Ouch.
Issues. Yeah. Thankfully, I think they're better.
I think she's good now, yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. So she said her situation is improving and she's optimistic. Thanks, Zan, for sharing the love of Psych. I was a casual viewer when the show first aired, but being involved with Psych Rewind has made me a psycho for sure.
Totally.
Charles, I hope you have become a fan of A Delicious Flavor, another Psych joke.
Mm-hmm.
You three did a great job, as I have proven with these notes, which also include the DVD commentary, but you will see your influence throughout. Have a great day, Fred. So thanks, Fred.
Thank you so much, Fred. I'm looking forward to listening to that.
Just, I don't know if I can, obviously you can't see it out there in podcast land, but I'm just going to scroll my phone here and just show Zan just this huge, this is the notes he took on our podcast.
That's awesome. So, I love that somebody is as obsessive about their podcast knowledge as we are.
That's right. So Fred, glad you enjoyed our Dual Spires episode, Fred, and hopefully you've stuck around for some more.
And hopefully you've, hopefully we gave you some insight for your podcast. That'll be good. I will, when we're done here tonight, I will make sure I hit subscribe on your show because I also love Psych. So.
Yep. So, so I did post the Dual Spires link from theirs on our Facebook page. You want to check that out.
Excellent.
And you can make it a little more convenient that way. And if you want to be like Fred and drop us a line here at Ghostwood, please do. You can reach us at ghostwoodpodcast@gmail.com. The Gmail. Or you can reach us on the Twitters at Ghostwoodcast, at Ghostwoodcast there.
Mm-hmm.
And or you can reach us on the aforementioned Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks Podcast Facebook page.
Yep.
We'd love to hear from you and give us your thoughts on what you think of the season 2 premiere or some upcoming episodes of Twin Peaks from season 2. Tell us what your favorites are, what you're looking forward to.
Yep.
And we would be glad to talk about that here on the podcast. And otherwise, Zan, where can they reach you on the interwebs?
I am on the Twitters and on the Instagrams as Udinax19. Yes. And I'm on the Facebook, but not as often as I should be. So, as Zan Sprouse.
Right.
So I would go for either our page or the Twitters if you want to get in touch with me. That's probably the best.
But you have been pretty active on Twitter lately.
I have been fairly active on Twitter. Yes, I'm much more active on Twitter than I am on Facebook these days. So, what about you, Charles?
Facebook does get a little depressing at times.
So depressing. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So I sympathize. As for me, of course, I'm at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter and on the Instagram, or Google Plus for all you crazy kids in the Google Plus, or Facebook at Charles Skaggs in Hilliard, Ohio, or my blog at Geeky Things, and I can't believe I didn't have this queued up already.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about all kinds of Ghostwood, Twin Peaks stuff, or comic book sci-fi stuff. Just posted a bunch of stuff that from the New York Comic Con.
Oh yeah.
And lots of stuff about that, and stuff of my other podcasts they do for the Southgate Media Group, including Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast, Titan Talk, the Titans podcast, both of which are going to be going weekly starting this week.
It's getting real over at Titan Talk.
This is, and also Next Stop Everywhere, because we got new Doctor Who on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yep. And so Charles is going to be very busy for the next 3 months.
Charles is getting some lozenges. He's got a lot to talk about, Sheriff.
I know, right? I started with a full bottle of tea, and you see how that's gone.
It's almost down to nothing.
Pretty much. So, but we have talked a lot, and I've talked a lot, way too much probably. So, check those out, and also please check out the Phantom Zone podcast they do with Karen Lindsay. Hopefully Karen gets her audio system back on track. She's been having problems with her sound mixer.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully we get Karen back on track, and we can start churning out new Phantom Zone podcast episodes, because, hey, there's all those comic book shows, so many comic book shows. So many comic book shows. And even Daredevil starting up here in a couple weeks now.
That's right.
So on Netflix, season 3. So we're going to be talking lots to talk about there.
Yep.
And everybody, thanks for all of you who support my podcast. I really appreciate it. And please check those out if you don't already. But otherwise, everybody come on back. We're going to pick up again with Coma, the second episode of season 2.
Yep.
So we'll be, and as we get even more closer to the end of the Leland Palmer saga. And I'm just going to leave it right there.
It's a game with no winners, this saga.
Nope. But it's a really good ending. And it's very sad.
Yeah, it's well done. It's not good. It's well done.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's well made. Let's put it that way. It's well performed.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's very well performed.
Yeah, so keep your eyes on Ray Wise, because every episode from here on out, he's someone definitely to watch. So
yeah.
All right, so we'll be doing that. Zan, go get something to eat.
I'm gonna.
And anything else before we head out?
I would just like to just a little commemoration. I lost my grandmother this past weekend. She passed away at the age of 90. So just a little shout out to Grandma. We're gonna miss you, Grandma. It was she was my final grandparent, so I have no more grandparents now.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear
Thank
that.
you.
And
Thank
obviously I'd seen your post on Facebook and how closely you physically resemble your grandmother. At least back then.
Yeah.
So
she's
but obviously it's definitely in the family, and our thoughts are with you. I'm sure I could speak for everybody that listens to the podcast, and express our deepest sympathies to you and your family.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I made it to 42 with grandparents, so that's pretty impressive.
And we talked before off air, but that's way longer than I had. So I'm actually kind of jealous.
That's true. You only started with 2, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah.
Wow. But Charles is a little bit older than me, not by much, but he,
I'm old.
No, you're not old.
You're just old and decrepit.
Your parents are older than my parents, and you're older than me. That's how that works.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Exactly. So, Zan, go get something to eat. You gotta be starved by now after looking at all that food.
After looking at all those donuts and the giant plate of roast beef at the Hayward's house, yeah, I am really hungry.
The whole big. All right, so everybody, come on back for Coma. It's gonna be good. Ronettes out of her coma, everybody. So that's
yeah.
cool,
It's much more
right?
rousing episode than the title suggests.
It is, and we'll have some fun. And we see you in a couple weeks right here on Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast. Bye everybody.